So I was debating what to wear today. As much as that sounds like a strange thing to say, Nick, I'm thinking to myself, it's wild pitch. Should I wear a baseball outfit? Not an outfit, a shirt? Or should I wear this cool, awesome Devoted tee that I just got for free off of their like free things you can have thing? And I thought to myself, Nick's theme or a shirt from Devoted. I love Devoted, but we went with Phillies today. And don't you know it? You wore KSKJ today.
And my Humana coffee mug.
There we go.
I'm all in on the insurance merch.
I was giving away cups this week. I bought these cups off of Vistaprint with my logo.
Mm-hmm.
No phone number, no QR code. No one's going to know how to call me if they find the mug.
Right.
But they love the mug. They love the merch.
That's awesome. I've been they're all in my car right now, so I can't even show you one because I was not prepared to talk about this. But I got pill boxes, like day of the week, like little pill boxes. So Sunday through Saturday, pill boxes that have my name and phone number and company logo printed on the side of them that I give away to anybody who buys a policy, life insurance or Medicare. Either way, they get a little pill box.
You're giving away a pill box, not actual pills, right?
No, empty pill boxes.
Okay. All right. Let's be clear to the 6 people to watch this podcast. He's not giving away pills. It's a pill box.
Empty pill boxes. But people really love those. Like, that's crazy. And I will give credit to the great John Duggar for that idea. That is not an original me idea. That is an idea that he gave me. And he probably got it from somebody else because there's not a lot of original ideas left in this world. But but they're great. They cost like I got a gross of them for like $50. And so like they're almost as cheap as business cards, and give one away to everybody when they get a business card. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I find that, like you said a few weeks ago in a post, how you should value your skills because it's a luxury that the seniors that we service don't get from pretty much anybody else in the market.
Yeah.
That giving them something that they typically couldn't afford makes them feel special. Like, maybe I'm completely fooling myself here, but I think that the law of reciprocity helps with persistency, and they like getting things they couldn't get on their own.
Yeah, I really think, like, if you think of yourself as working in sort of a service industry, and I know a lot of people in insurance want to think of themselves as working in a high-level consultative financial market. But that's a service industry too, right? Like your stockbroker, your CPA. Like, these are people who provide services. That it's not dramatically different from a waiter. It's just a different type of service that they're providing. And so if you think of yourself as working in a service industry, I think it changes the attitude that you bring to your meetings. And you can still be authoritative, right? You shouldn't lose that I'm the expert, I'm in charge, I'm the person that you've come to for advice. It is my advice that you are here for. But at the same time, you're there to provide a service for them. And at the end of the day, you are their employee. They're hiring you the way that they would hire any employee, a lawyer, stockbroker, doctor, whatever, car, auto mechanic, all service industry type things. So yeah, I don't know. It's a mindset type of thing, but I think it's helpful because people really appreciate it. People don't get a lot of luxuries in this life, especially people who are lower on the income scale, and it makes them feel good. It makes them appreciate it. It makes them associate you with feeling good. I don't know. It's all kinds of good stuff.
I already got.
You'll sell more that way. Writing down a hot take mid conversation, but yeah, it'll make you sell more that way. Also, like, I think you will close more deals. You will have more trust. Because you're coming at it from a place of serving them, and they'll pick up on that. they'll recognize that you're in this for their best interest, not for
Mhm.
your best interest. Now, it just so happens your best interests and their best interests can align, but you'll definitely close more if you come at it from the attitude of, I'm going to do the thing that helps you the most.
I think servicing versus selling also gives you a long game mentality where in the industry, especially in the social media era, people are focused on, holy crap, he wrote 50K of final expense last month, or
Yeah.
he wrote 100 million Medicare plans last week. I mean, he didn't. That's not true. None of them stuck, and he's in debt anyway. He just left the last IMO with it. But
Right.
when you take a long game approach with Medicare, which is what our podcast is about, you can take a service approach versus a selling approach. And when you take a service approach, it lowers the stress level down. You sell more products, you make more money, and you stay in the business longer. Like I was telling my group this morning that Medicare is a long game play. Like nobody's expecting to pay their mortgage next month with Medicare. Like
No.
nobody. That's not the expectation.
No.
The expectation is that if you join this journey in 3 years, you'll be making 10 grand a month and not have to worry about a penny or over anything. But it's servicing versus selling. Anyone that's selling is expecting to pay their mortgage off it this month. Anyone that's servicing is building a long-term relationship, which is exactly what Medicare is.
Yes, it is 100% about building that relationship. It is. I was talking to somebody yesterday. So somebody posted in one of the various forums, like, um, should I dabble in Medicare on the side, just for AEP, just kind of, leave the life insurance business off to the side, hit it for AEP, go back to life insurance for the rest of the year.
Hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
No.
And I mean, dabbling in Medicare is a really good way to not make any money and spend a lot of time. Because although you can very successfully work Medicare primarily just during AEP, if you approach it with the attitude of, I'm going to go make a whole bunch of money in 8 weeks and then ignore this product for the rest of the year, and then come back and do it again for 8 weeks and then ignore this product for the rest of the year, you're going to have a really bad time. And a lot of it is about that attitude. It's about that approach. Because you can, and many full-time Medicare agents do, gear up really hard for AEP, go really hard in AEP, continue on in OEP, and then kind of dial it way back during the rest of the year. But it is still an all year round job, even for people who have 800, 1,000, 1,200 people on their book of business. Maybe more so for people who have 800, 1,000, 1,200 people on their book of business, because you want to keep that book together. So yeah, it's a bad idea to sort of dabble. I find that there is an almost 100% failure rate for final expense agents. I can't speak of any other agent, but I suspect this is true across the board. For final expense agents who come in with the attitude of, I'm going to go write a little bit in AEP, get my paycheck, and then never again. Almost a 100% failure rate of becoming successful in Medicare. You don't start feeling the success of Medicare until you've had at least 100, preferably 150 people on your book of business, and you've hit your first year of renewals on those people. Because the first year commission is not enough to write home about. But when you start getting those monthly payouts January 1st of the year that your renewals start, that's when you start to be like, oh, that's thousands of dollars every month that I'm just getting deposited out of nowhere. That's kind of nice.
I wish Cigna wouldn't lump sum their renewals. It kind of diminished that for me in the very beginning. Not that I don't love every carrier equally, for our own disclaimer this morning.
Right.
But I did love one day waking up in January and getting a lump sum deposit for tens of thousands of dollars. Well, holy crap. Thank God. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It is a sort of spectacular thing. And it's amazing for me when I start to see the people kind of get that click of, oh, this is what renewals really mean. And for most agents, it takes about 3 years. You can do it faster. Like you can definitely do it faster, but for most agents, it takes 3 years. It takes the first year of writing business and getting first year commissions and being like, man, Medicare sort of pays like crap. And then the second year of getting renewals and first year commission and being like, okay, maybe this sort of is starting to make sense. And then that third year of getting first year commission and 2 years worth of renewals for most agents is where like the light bulb goes off. The trick for me is getting the final expense agent to stick with it for the 3 years, you know. And it's the dabblers that don't. You know, the dabblers are the ones who tell me after they've got 50 people on their book of business, it's too much work and not enough pay.
Hire somebody. Freaking hire somebody.
Yeah, right.
Like get a virtual assistant for $11 an hour. Teach them to do the thing, and at least answer the call, and hire somebody. Like scale your business. You're not a sole producer when you enter a service mindset at that point in time.
Yeah.
Nick, I have an agent that became RTS in February.
Okay.
And took him out in the car after our Puerto Rico trip, like the very next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all stranded at the airport. Everyone's like, going to San Juan for the night. I'm like, no, I'm going to South Jersey tomorrow to teach Medicare. I got to go home.
Right. Sure.
Got him in the car. What was that, like early March, I believe?
Yeah. It would have like first week of March, I think.
Yeah. And has written about 50 to 60 plans since then.
Fantastic.
And that's just someone that's out there buying direct mail, selling what he sells, and not depending on Medicare money to pay anything right now.
Right.
Learning to incorporate that into what he does with the expectation that in 3 years it's going to show fruits for his labor, but don't expect anything from it, but developing that skill set over time. When you get to the point where you're talking about these agents with 500 or 1,000 Medicare clients on their book of business, here's the real question. Is there a thing called retention mode where you stop hunting and you go into retaining mode with that level of clientele?
I mean, I think a lot of agents do, right? I think that is common. And like, let's be honest, right? Like the number of agents who sell Medicare who have more than 800 people on their book of business, the percentage of those agents is a single digit number, right? Across the country, there is a single digit number of Medicare agents who have 800 people or more on their book of business. It is not something most people achieve. It's very achievable, but it's not something most people achieve because realistically, most people are very happy with $100,000 to $150,000 of renewal income and just making sure that they kind of keep that going, right? Just making sure that they keep that book of business together. And once you have, let's call it 300 people. Once you have 300 people on your book of business, you have kind of a critical mass where you are making a decent amount of money every month in renewals. And if you spend every day of the year trying to contact one of those people that you did not contact already that year, you will get cross sales. You will maintain their business. You will get referrals to other people. And there is a very real world in which you can make a pretty decent living with a book of business of 300, 400, maybe 500 people and kind of just maintain. And that's where most Medicare agents stop. Because I don't know, man, it's easier, I guess. I don't know. Most people who go into Medicare are not the same people that go into final expense.
No,
right?
Very different.
It's not the same mentality. What was it? I read, I don't remember where I read it anymore, but I read somewhere recently that the average life insurance agent has the same basic brain chemistry as the average gambling addict. We're wired the same way, which is which if you know a lot of insurance agents actually tracks really well. You will find many of them in casinos a lot of the time when given an opportunity. But it's the same thing. And that's just not how P&C health insurance agents, any of the more long-term farming renewal-based stuff works. Those are different types of people. You find that the final expense life insurance people are a little bit more driven to go, build bigger, larger, create downlines, grab up LOA agents, build, expand, try and get as big a book of business as possible, flip it, sell that book of business, start over, do it again. Like this is the type of stuff that like life insurance agents who get into Medicare start talking about, but it's actually kind of difficult to do those things. Especially if you're not going to actively try to scale, if you're going to try and just do everything by yourself, if you're not going to really try and invest any money into it and build and grow. There's a point of diminishing returns. So yeah, I know this is not actually what we were talking about, what we were planning on talking about at all, but
I got a transitional moment ready, but I think it's important for people to realize like it's a long game play. You might be fine setting your market 300 or 400 and maintaining it, but also let's put some money behind what those numbers mean before we move into today's main topic.
Sure.
300 Medicare clients in retention, like on the books, active, renewing, blah, blah, blah. How much is that monthly for your agent, for an agent?
I always have to do the math because it's different in Pennsylvania. We get paid more in Pennsylvania. It's good to sell in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Washington, D.C., New York, New Jersey, or California, that we all get paid more. California and New Jersey in particular get paid more. But for 300 people, it's $91,200 right now this year with the current renewal rate. If they signed up 2023, $91,200.
So you're talking about $7K a month in renewal mode for 300 clients.
350, 106,000, 400, which has traditionally been the benchmark because it used to take 400 people to get to $100,000. $100,000 is not worth what it used to be worth. So it's still 400 is probably where the benchmark should be for like, I'm done. But that'll get you just short of $122,000 or just over $120,000. And that's a pretty decent renewal income. You know, that is $10,000 a month just for waking up every month.
I like the idea. Maybe that's the gambling side of me. I hate gambling because I don't like to play games I don't know how to win.
Right.
Of that 1,000 mark, of that, the 1%ers of the industry that have decided they have to invest in scale to get it and to maintain it. But 1,000 on your book of business pays how much a month in renewal?
I mean, it's $304,000. So divide that by 12.
I'm no mathematician. That's about $25,000 a month in reoccurring renewals.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So, it's stupid money. Like for just talking to and maintaining your client base, right? Spend a little bit of money, spend some of that $25,000 and, you know, send them birthday cards, buy them presents, send them text messages.
Get them pill holders.
Like, I mean, at that point, yeah, like spend $5,000 a month and hire somebody to like take them in batches of 10 and call them like 10 a day, every day until you've called all of them. 10 a week, every week until you've called all of them, you know? And then do it again so that they all get a phone call every, you know? Like that's the thing. You start getting that many clients and you do need to start worrying about those clients getting poached. And you need to start worrying about replacing them when they die because you're selling to people who are 65 plus. They die sometimes. I mean, even younger people die, but like people in their 70s and 80s die more frequently than people who are not in their 70s and 80s. You will occasionally run into stuff where the person that you've sold, like their plan gets pulled from the market and you need to change them like yesterday. Or maybe you sold them a MedSup and this silver MedSup is doubling in price. The prescription drug plan is doubling in price next year and going from being a $30 a month plan to being an almost $60 a month plan.
Whew.
And maybe you want to change their prescription drug plan, which you don't get a lot of money for, but maybe we'll keep them from leaving you. Or their MedSup, you know, is hitting the 6-year mark and they're still healthy enough to change their MedSup. And you probably want to do that and lower their rates and restart your renewals. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do, making sure that they all get offered cancer plans, making sure that they all get offered hospital indemnity plans and short-term home health care plans and life insurance if they don't have life insurance, or get their life insurance reviewed.
There you go.
They refer you to make sure you're asking to have them refer you to their friends who are retiring soon. Like, there's all sorts of things that you can talk to these people about all year long when you've got that many people to talk to.
There you go. Today's topic, which we didn't even get to yet, but we got 5 minutes, so we're going to tackle it, is how, or maybe not how, we don't have time for how. What are the numbers, but how will be next time?
Next time.
We'll get to the top part. Writing 100 plans in AEP. Is it realistic? How many people really do it? What are the numbers behind me actually doing it?
Very few people really do it. Statistically, the average agent in AEP writes somewhere between 25 and 40 apps. That's average. Now, and that's a pretty wide swing. 25 and 40 is a wide swing, but that's what most people are going to do. You're gonna be somewhere in there. If you are writing over 40 apps in AEP, just if you're watching this and you don't want to feel bad about everything that you see on social media and all the people who are gonna like talking about crushing it in AEP, like, you're winning if you write more than 40 apps, especially if you're a face-to-face agent. If you're not a telesales agent, you can write more easily as a telesales agent, because there is just a numbers game behind it. Like, just go talk to more people, you will write more business, and you can talk to more people more quickly if you're just picking up a phone as opposed to having to drive to their house. But being a telesales agent will cost you more in overhead, or you will have to be supplied with that overhead, which will cost you something in compensation. So a lot of those people who are writing big numbers, like 200, 300 numbers in AEP, are telesales agents who are being supplied with live transfers at a reduced commission rate, or they don't get to keep their book of business. As a face-to-face agent, 100 apps in AEP is absolutely possible. You need to have a plan, and you need to start stacking appointments. By the time this comes out, it's going to be mid-September. If you are hearing this and you have not started stacking appointments for AEP, it's already too late. You've missed your window. But the best day to plant a tree is today. Well, is yesterday. I screwed up the saying, but you know what I'm saying. Like, best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today.
There we go.
Just start stacking appointments.
What does that mean? Unpack that for me real quick.
So the best time to plant a tree is 100 years ago, because trees grow very slowly and we don't have enough of them and we need more. But the next best time to plant a tree is today. Don't wait. Just go start planting a tree.
Yeah. What is stacking appointments, though? That might be a concept unfamiliar.
So yeah, you want to have, like, you should, by the beginning of September, have an appointment, a calendar full of appointments for October. Like, by now, like, you should have appointments on your books. You should have full days for the first couple of days in October. For the first few weeks in October, you should have full days already. You should already, October 1st, October 15th, everybody who's already an existing client of yours that is going to need to be talked to about Medicare, that maybe you will, maybe you won't end up submitting an application for them, you should have those appointments set already. It's September. If you don't have those appointments already set, if the first 2 weeks of October are not full for you, you are behind. Get to work. You should probably have the last 2 weeks of October kind of full already, also before the end of the month, before the end of September, before October 1st comes around. You should have the last 2 weeks of October filled. You should have the entirety of your October fully booked, no free time, except for scheduled free time, before midnight on October 1st. If you want to write 100 in AEP, because you need to write 12 apps a week.
So you're talking about
13 apps a week, really. It's 12 and a half apps a week. You have 8 weeks.
you're talking about that early phase of October, going back to the people you've already written, making sure they're ready to keep their plan, getting a plan ready to replace it if necessary in an
Yep.
unlikely scenario. And that's your first wave in the battle, is just retention to the people you've already sold.
Yeah. Retaining your existing book of business. And you should only be doing that in the first 2 weeks of October. Once October 15th rolls around, you should only be talking to new prospects. You should not be talking to people on your existing book of business. If you have access to something like Loom, you have email addresses for your existing book of business, you can send mass emails with Loom videos to your existing book of business, talking about the plan changes and saying, hey, call me if you feel like we need to discuss your plan. But if you're getting this email, your plan is, this is what the changes are, and this is probably still the best plan for you. And then only proactively set appointments with people who you think may be iffy about their existing plan. But get those appointments on the books, get the stuff set up, stacked, ready to go. You can't send those Loom emails until October 1st, but they can all be like locked and loaded so that, midnight October 1st, people are getting them hitting their inboxes.
There you go. 2 hot takes. You ready?
Yeah.
2 hot takes. Number 1, but I want to sell things in October. Can I sell any final expense in those 2 weeks as a life cross-selling mastery of this business? Or do I really only get to retain everybody that I've already written in those 2 weeks?
Heck yeah. Sell them life insurance. It's it's not a sales appointment, right? You're going to review with existing clients. Now, I mean, for me, if I'm going and reviewing it for existing clients, those people probably already have a life insurance policy with me. I really only sell to my existing life insurance book of business. But if maybe you approach it a different way, you run a lot of Medicare leads and you've got a lot of Medicare clients who don't have life insurance with you. Yeah, that's a great time to talk to them about life insurance. It's a great time to talk to them about any kind of cross sell.
But are you really are you goal focused in production mode for those 15 days? Or are you in review mode? Like, what is your mindset?
It's, for me, every time I talk to anybody ever, I'm always looking for a sale. Right? Even when I'm reviewing. And that's probably not the best mindset to have, honestly. Like, I read a lot of stuff from other people in the industry who say, like, hey, when you're doing a product review, the best thing to do is to just come at it from a pure review standpoint and no expectations and let the stuff come to you. Maybe. I don't know. I've never been able to do that. I'm always looking for problems that I can solve. I'm always asking questions to uncover problems that can be solved, and looking for opportunities to make a sale, but fix a problem, right? That's a constant. All year long, anytime I'm talking to anybody.
Well said. Here's the real hot take I wrote down in the middle of the conversation 20 minutes ago. Are you ready for the actual hot take?
Sure.
Take it as short. Let's do it. Not everyone in the Medicare industry is cut out to work leads.
I don't know why not. Like, I'm trying to figure out why somebody would not want to work leads other than a cost perspective. Like, I can see why people would not want to work leads because they don't want to spend the money on them, or because they don't want to take the income hit for getting them given to them for free. I cannot wrap my head around a scenario where a person would not want to talk to a prospect that has already indicated in advance that they are potentially interested in talking to them. I can't figure that out. Maybe let me turn it on you. Why wouldn't they be?
I think the misinformation around that is the idea that the grassroots, referral-based, picnic table selling type agent, brand-focused, God bless them, I'm giving away cups too and pillboxes, lead-based sales just aren't as not as sticky. They're going to fall off. They're going to flip. They're going to be replaced. If I buy them stinky, expensive leads and I go out and I run them, that business just isn't going to be as good as that grassroots business I planted on my own.
people vastly overestimate the value that they bring to the table when they create a grassroots relationship. They vastly overestimate the amount of loyalty that people have to them. And they are mostly wrong. They're mostly wrong. The only thing that creates sticky business is putting somebody in the absolute hands down best plan for them. That is the only thing that creates sticky business.
There goes the notes.
If somebody puts a person into a plan that is not optimal, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship they have. That person is eventually going to leave them because somebody is going to show them the money and the black and white dollars and cents and say, this was not right, man. I don't care that you go on vacations with your agent. I don't care that, your agent is like coming to your barbecue next weekend. This is your health insurance. Like, you got to take care of yourself.
Well
Do the
said.
right, every time. Those relationships are way overvalued by agents. Prospects don't think of you that way.
There you go. Well said. At the end of the video, like we always say, like, comment, and subscribe. We pick up a few subscribers every week in this grassroots attempt to build the channel that provides real valuable content, not just fluff and fakery and all these things that are out there in the ethos of the insurance industry. And if you're not taking notes about some of the stuff that Nick is saying, you're actively making yourself stupider. Like, let's just be honest. You are. Like, I have notes about what we should talk about, what the hot take's going to be, but I'm also learning things by what he's saying, and I'm doing the video with him. If you're not taking notes and listening and re-listening and liking the video and commenting and sharing this stuff, you're making yourself stupider. I love you, but that's the truth. Nick, I appreciate you being on. I'm going to record an episode with Polish Falcons of America next. You guys may never have heard of that carrier. That's okay. You're going to learn about it after the next video with their representative today. Thanks for being on with me today, Nick.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.